I spent a lot of time growing up in church. I went to church almost every Sunday growing up. I grew up here in Rapid City. It was fantastic. Church, for me, it was more of I went to church because it was Sunday, and that's what you do on Sunday. I loved God. I knew that God loved me. The part that always was missing for me, probably up until my mid-20s, was I never had a really close relationship with Jesus, with God, and probably with most of the people in the church itself. I saw it very much as, well, I could do this at home by reading the Bible. Why do I need to go to church? So when I went to college, I didn't go to church. And even after getting married, I rarely went to church. When we finished school, we came back to Rapid City, got jobs. And at that point, we were now searching for a church. And I started asking some friends at work. I was teaching here in Rapid, and I just kept hearing back and again and again, you need to check out this Fountain Springs place. It's got a really great kids ministry. And for me, nothing else mattered. At that point, nothing mattered except the kids ministry. I wanted a really great kids ministry for my kids. We ended up showing up one day, I'm sure it was a Sunday, and I remember my son was 1 at the time, and handing him off in the kids ministry and realizing that I could actually go to church without my kids. But then starting to just listen in on church and hearing what David or whoever was preaching that Sunday was saying was just starting to have an impact in my life and start to speak to me on levels that I'd never really heard before. And I started looking at this idea of church, this idea of Jesus, this idea of Christianity, more in terms of now a relationship. What did it look like to actually have a relationship with Jesus? And it was wrapped up in this idea of a relationship with other people. And for me, that was very foreign because, again, going back, I thought for most of my life that I could do this thing on my own. After that, things started rolling much faster than I ever wanted them to happen. And decisions that I never thought I would make because I was pretty sure what my life was going to look like for the next 30 years, all of a sudden started changing in some pretty amazing ways, but some pretty hard ways too. An interesting thing about following God is that it's not always easy, and that a lot of times it's filled with doubt. I know for a lot of my story, I have questioned so much about whether or not I'm even qualified to be in any position to be talking about Jesus with somebody else. Sometimes whether it's even I'm qualified to talk about him with my kids. I think the heart of this goes back to, do we want to invite people in every single day into this amazing life of following Jesus? I think that opening up a new location means that we have seats for somebody to sit in and seats for somebody to hear about Jesus. We have rooms open for kids to go and hear about the amazing story of Jesus and what he did for them, so that they're making decisions to follow him early in life. And unlike me, who waited 20-some years to really build a relationship with him, they can start doing it right away. And for the adults who are just getting into it, I want everybody to feel this. I don't want to shut the door on anybody, and I don't I think that any time that there's a place that has a void of Jesus, because there's not a building or a community or a TV screen in front of them to find him, then we need to find a way to put him in front of it. I think that we need to put kids in front of Jesus, and we need to put adults in front of Jesus. And if that means putting a building there first, then we need to do it. And if that means putting a community together that meets at a coffee shop, then we need to do it. And whatever it looks like, that's what we need to do.